It's Miami, it's Kansas from Chicago for the right to go to the Final Four. And away we go from the Windy City.
And Miami is going to open in man-to-man defense. And remember, they like to scramble around. They like to double team and try to disrupt your offense.
Magusky and Agbaji, that's going to be the matchup I want to watch all evening.
Looked like Magusky got a hand on that pass. Ricochets out of bounds. Shot clock at 17. Jim Larinaga was telling us yesterday that Kansas is so good getting in the paint, especially within about the first 5 seconds of a possession. Here, they've been extended. Agbaji, who has struggled in this tournament shooting, with a nice rebound inside by Jordan Miller.
What a great job by Charlie Miller to get in the way of McCormick with a block out.
Driving inside, it's off the hands of the driving Isaiah Wong. It goes back to KU.
Everybody talks about the Kansas offense, but their defense has been outstanding in this NCAA tournament. Miami's going to have to deal with that.
It was terrific against Providence in the first half the other night.
But Miami's been one of the better teams of not turning the basketball over. Their first possession, what do? Turn it over.
McCormick is swarmed. Now he gets a little bit of space, and that's over Wardenberg for the game's first points.
That's going to be really hard to defend. Miami's got to keep their guys in front of them on the perimeter, because once they get inside and the defense has to come to help, McCormick is going to have opportunities.
So here comes Miami. They have a lot of ball handlers on this team.
And Charlie Moore, who is the primary ball handler, is going to have to control the pace for these Canes.
Wong looking to cross over. Swerving down the lane. A nice two, scooping it home. Charlie Moore.
And if there's a guy who understands Bill Self in this Kansas Jayhawks, it's going to be Moore.
He played 2 years at KU. The other way, off the glass to Juan Harris as a sophomore from Columbia, Missouri, puts it through. Miami 26-10. 14-6 in the ACC. Wong dancing with Wilson. Wow, a nice three outside for the Hurricanes.
And we've said, Reggie, that's not the strength of his game, particularly not the step-back three off the dribble.
Agbaji inside, McCormick playing with a bad foot, and that's a turnover.
Well, it's offensive foul on McCormick, which great acting there by Wardenberg.
It's his first.
This is a very important matchup, and Wardenberg, he takes that contact.
No. Come on.
It's the shoulder into the chest.
Shoulder?
He knows what he's supposed to do.
Oh, my goodness.
Didn't you see Jim Larinaga's pregame speech?
What we thought about the outside shot. Brown comes out on him. They switch on defense. Agbaji is former teammate will watch him go in and scoop it home again.
His ability to get into the paint, control the pace of the game up and down, and then make opportunistic drives like that are going to be key today.
I think they were playing him for the pass. Both times he went in there, Reggie, and he made him pay for it.
It's Wilson thrashing his way into the paint. With another rebound, the second of the game for junior Jordan Miller.
I love about Moore. He always has his head up. To me, that was too quick of a shot there by Moore.
Agbaji is certain over 30%. That's all in this tournament. Struggling with his offense. Brown across the lane, finding room, bashing his way free, and a foul on the Miami D. They're going inside. Wong will pick it up.
And we talked about Moore. I think Kansas anticipates maybe he's going to pass the ball, but he weaved his way through guys there. And remember, Reggie, as he's driving, they're lining the three-point line with shooters.
So at the free throw line is Christian Brown. He had 6 points and 10 rebounds the other night in the win over 4th seed Providence at the Stripe now. Coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship. Elite Eight continues tonight at 7 o'clock on ESPN. For more information and game time information with listings, go to ncaa.com.
You heard Coach Larinaga talk about the first 5 to 6 minutes defensively for his team, because what Kansas wants to do is attack the lane off the dribble penetration. That's why it's so key that you've got to be able to build a wall.
Wilson just picked up a foul for Kansas.
You can make a case Wilson is the second most important player in this tournament behind Remy Martin.
Miami with it, first tournament since 2018. The Oklahoma transfer McGusty with a rebound by Brown. They'll rocket the other way for the Hawks. Agbaji, 33% in the tournament to the rack.
There's that dribble penetration, right?
And it's off the transition. That's exactly what Dana was talking about with Jim Laranaga's concern, is that Kansas scores so quickly. They get the ball down the court and get it inside.
Moore's got an open lane, and that time the scoop won't go. McCormick will fetch the ball, and here comes Harris, streaming the other way. Brown just threw down a sledgehammer.
Right over Wardenberg as well. And again, Dan, in transition, Kansas continuing to attack the rim.
McGusty finagling his way into the defense of Wilson.
What a shot with his left hand in the finish.
But Kansas is coming right back at you. You can't relax. That's a pass that's a little bit optimistic, but that's what the Jayhawks want to do.
It's those first 5 seconds which has caught Miami's attention. Back and forth we go. We're tied at 9. The Elite 8 on CBS. A lot of it inside.
But Kevin, that's what we've been talking about. Kansas wants to push the ball up the court. They want to get it inside. Now, it hasn't been power moves. It's basically been transition baskets. And if you're Miami, you have got to get back. This is the one jump shot off the drive. The rest of this has all been in transition.
And this is why Coach Laranaga was so animated in his pregame speech to his team. Who's going to sacrifice their body and get in front of these guys?
Remy Martin is checked in along with Mitch Lightfoot for the Jayhawks. And Miami is stuck with their original 5 on the floor. Kansas beat Texas Southern, Creighton, and Friday they took care of 4th seed Providence. Here comes Miami. Wins over Auburn, USC, and Iowa State Friday to get here. Wong. They'll try to explode, but lost the ball. And the shot clock in single digits for McGusty. A 3, no. Rebound Wong. Out to Moore, free to fire, now will take it in.
Oh, what a move.
Fake. Picked up by Wilson.
How great was that fake there by Moore? Left it a little bit short.
Agbaji inside, Lightfoot's got it. Wardenberg on the way, and Lightfoot was it inside, had 2, and there's a look at 72-year-old Jim Laranaga.
They're trying to front, and that's McGusty trying to front, and a little bit too small that time, and Wardenberg picks up the foul, and that is a big foul. I think Sam Wardenberg is the one guy for Miami who cannot get into foul trouble.
So here's Mitch Lightfoot at the free throw line for the Jayhawks. He's 55%, 166 game played, the most in school history here this afternoon as Wong will take a breather. They go to the freshman, Wooga Poplar out of Philadelphia.
Other than that 3 by Wong, he's been having a problem controlling the basketball on his drives.
Now they bring in Anthony Walker. Wardenberg will sit down. So Wardenberg has a foul. And the other way comes Charlie Moore, who's a Chicagoan. Played here. In fact, this is the 4th different school he's played for, and he committed to a 5th. He committed to Memphis. And then when their coach left, he reopened the recruiting. It's McGusty into Remy Martin. And Wilson got a hand on it as McGusty was flying to the rack.
And you can already see what Miami is trying to do offensively, Reggie. They spread you out, and then they try to get one of their guys to take you off the dribble. That has been what we've seen from them throughout this tournament, throughout the year.
Remy Martin picked up the foul for KU. McGusty at the free throw line.
And because Kansas switches 1 through 4, that's exactly what Miami wants to do, especially when they get Remy Martin on a taller McGusty. He's going to use not only his quickness, but his size to get by him and get into the paint.
So McGusty, he played at Oklahoma for a couple years. He is a 6th-year redshirt senior. And Danny finished up as the 4th leading scorer this season in the ACC.
He can put points on the board, and to Reggie's point, if he gets mismatched against Remy Martin, he can take him down in and jump over top of him in the middle of the lane.
Martin against Moore. Wilson has it, out on him, he finds Walker. Martin, 23 the other night against Providence. He's in a thicket of defenders. Brown down the lane, rebound by Lightfoot, and held on to and fouled inside.
That was Miller on that foul right there, trying to keep Lightfoot off the offensive glass.
And again, you have a situation where a dribbler penetrates, causes people to come and help. You see Miller stepped toward the dribbler, and now he's not in position to block out. Really nice job by Lightfoot.
Jordan Miller just picked up his first personal foul.
I think they're going to look for a hook and hold here.
Was congested there. To see Jim Larinaga, you would think at 72 he might be the elder statesman of coaching in the ACC as we watch it again. There's a case for both players right there.
Well, they get tangled up in there, and I think what you're looking at here, okay, so he puts his arm over top, but does he pull him down? You know, is it a hook? Well, maybe, but is it a hold?
Gene Steratore is our rules analyst, and Gene, what'd you see on that replay moments ago?
I think what you have to watch now is there's definitely a hook there as they're positioning themselves to get the rebound. It appears to me that the Miami player continues to restrict the Kansas player from getting off of the ground and never lets go. That's where, in my opinion, you've taken a normal box-out play to what we would deem then unnecessary, avoidable. It feels like enough restriction to go ahead and say flagrant 1 there because he's not allowing the Kansas player's left arm to get up and make a basketball play now. He's just restricting that arm, as we see from a great camera angle.
Well, they're taking a long look at this, and I agree with you, Gene. But for big men, you see this all the time down low. I mean, you almost could call a hook and hold for bigs all the time when they're jostling for position.
Well, but if you let go, that's one thing. And Gene's absolutely right. He didn't like pull him down to the ground, but he did hang on to him and not let him jump.
Gene?
Yeah, the other thing we say, look, in that situation, Reg, I agree. When both
F1, it'll be 2 shots, Kansas ball.
Roger Ayers coming over.
I heard Roger a little from my end too, guys.
Good.
Yeah, Kevin, I would say this to answer Reggie, like when they're in that position and both holding, as an official, you want to say to yourself, are they both happy to be there in that moment? And if they are, and there's no real advantage, then you allow them to be there kind of for that position in that moment. But once a player attempts to make that rebound, you've got to release it, you know, and disengage and allow basketball to continue. And that's what the officials did, and I agree with that.
Gene, thank you. So the first foul of the game goes on Miller. Lightfoot at the line. 55% free throw shooter, and he's playing in his 15th NCAA tournament game.
Well, just to what Gene said, when I got switched off on the Shaq down low, I was never happy to be there to try to block him out. So happy to be there. I'm not quite sure Jordan Miller was happy to be there trying to box out Lightfoot.
Remy Martin will inbound the ball. He led the Pac-12 in scoring a season ago for Arizona State. Transferring to KU, whittles his way to the line. Brown, Lightfoot with the defense there by Walker.
Good patience there by Lightfoot down low. Right now, KU has the advantage in their front court.
Well, Miami going with a little bit smaller lineup. No real shot blockers in the game.
Here comes Moore with Brown on him.
And the offense here is sort of limited.
Wide open three right here, Anthony Walker with a rebound by Martin, who said he chose Kansas to finish out his college career because he wanted to win, and win they have done. And the big reason here in the tournament because of him. Oh, swatted away. Erased by Walker. Picked up outside. Agbaji.
It's got to feel good for Agbaji, a guy who has struggled through 3 games in this tournament, only averaging 10 points, came in during the regular season averaging just about 20.
Moore with it. Poplar and McGusty. finding room, getting the defense to gamble, and that is a foul on KU and a foul on Christian Brown, a junior from Burlington, Kansas, as we take a look at the advanced stats presented by Invesco QQQ. Remy Martin has had this unbelievable run for improving his numbers every single game.
It's the offense off the bench, Dan, right?
Well, it certainly has been in this tournament for Kansas. That has been a big reason the Jayhawks have been so productive.
So Christian Brown picks up his first foul for KU with more substitutions coming up here for the Hurricanes.
Something to watch throughout this game. Miami, they've been in the capper seat in this tournament. They've only led a little over, or been behind a little over 5 minutes, right? Throughout this course of the game, Kansas is probably going to be leading this game. How can they play from behind? They've been up pretty much this whole tournament.
Do they have that kind of firepower?
They do, offensively, but the way these Jayhawks play defense, they take a lot of those first and second options away.
Juwan Harris will bring it up. Martin is on the side, has the ball. Again, they work it down low. Lightfoot, Wilson had a double-double. In fact, 2 in a row in the tournament. One against Creighton, one against Providence. 9 to fire, Wilson 3. It's a rebound by Anthony Walker.
I think if you're Lightfoot and you catch the ball inside, you have to turn and look at the basket.
Wardenberg back in for Miami. Here is McGusty. 27 the other night. In a thicket of defenders, he lost the ball. Agbaji sliding for it. Wilson going the other way. The runway was clear, but the ball was fumbled. Wong racing with a burst the other way.
Boy, has it been a real issue on both sides of the ball of controlling it on the dribble, Dan.
And you're right, Isaiah Wong in particular seems to be having a tough time handling the ball.
Wong, a sophomore out of Piscataway, New Jersey. He went to Monsignor Bonner High School, no relation to our Dan Bonner.
But obviously a great high school.
Amen. Joseph. Harris defending.
Person can really shoot the basketball.
First Elite 8 for Miami. McGusty, 2, got it.
He's not afraid of the moment, and he is used to, when he played at Oklahoma, going against these Jayhawks now.
Got a player bleeding, and that is Joseph. Bensley Joseph, a freshman, with a cut that needs to be attended to. McGusty has the last 6 points for Miami. They've never been this deep in the tournament. Can they continue against vaunted Kansas? Jayhawks have started 6 of 11. Dana, moments ago, caught up with their head coach, Bill Self.
Coach, I know your shots are dropping, but obviously so are theirs. Just give me the early assessment on both sides of the ball.
We can't guard their guys. Their 3 guys are getting what they want, and we got to do a better job, and we haven't stayed down on the shot fake yet.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, the stoppage of play, because moments ago we had a Miami player that was bleeding from the mouth. Friendly fire.
That's oh boy. Wardenberg never saw him there, and Joseph took the brunt of that one.
He did. Busted up his nose. He is out of the game. They're still taking a look at him. So they bring Moore and Wong in their backcourt. Wardenberg will stay in the middle. McGusty on the floor. And they also have Walker out there, the 5 for the Hurricanes, and approaching 11.5 to go. Agbaji is at 1 shot from outside. McCormick back in. And they quickly blitz him, but he gets the hook to go.
You've got to go at him a little quicker,
Exactly.
don't you,
You got to go at McCormick, and Lightfoot have been great for the post down low for Kansas.
There's Wong trying to evade the defense of Agbaji with a whistle and a foul, and Agbaji will pick it up for KU. Next month, CBS heads to the incomparable atmosphere at Augusta National for a tradition unlike any other. The Masters this April on CBS. Miami, 9th 20-win season for a program that went dark for a handful of years. Wardenberg, McGusty, Agbaji had gone backwards to cover. The shot is free. Brown with the rebound. Brown. And Agbaji. Martin with a 3. Wardenberg got a hand on it. Over to Walker. And the Hurricanes the other way. Three. Wong. No. Tip-in try. Walker got it. Vacuumed it in. Wong will take it out. Uh-oh, yep. Violation by Wong.
Yeah, but one official had that he was kind of juggling the basketball. The other one had double dribble.
That's a tough place to throw the ball to Wong.
Yeah, that's a double dribble. He picked it up, had control of it, and then started again.
Jayhawks have led by 3. Miami has led by 3. There is cross court.
Got to look for McCormick.
Martin through traffic, across the lane and foul. At that time, foul by Charlie Moore. He'll pick up his first.
Martin gets his arm out there, but Moore also pushes him, and so lots of times the officials see that arm and call the foul, but Moore didn't allow him to do that because he put his own hands on Martin.
Remy Martin, rise and fire. Tipped out. Miami the other way.
Let's see if Wardenberg can knock down a 3 here to kind of open up that middle a little bit for the drivers.
Step back 3.
That's his second step back 3 of this first half. Not a great three-point shooter, but showing it tonight, 2 of 3.
I think Miami only averages about 7 threes a game. They're going to have to score more than that, I think, to win this game.
Inside ball collected. Agbaji got it. He's got 2 from the field.
Well, did Agbaji grab that? Did it hit the rim? Because that could have been called traveling if it didn't hit anything or it wasn't blocked.
That was Agbaji's 3rd field goal. He's got 6 and corkscrewing inside Walker.
Wow.
Wow.
That's some move.
It's Harris ramming his way inside. On that baseline, a floater on the fly, knocked away by Walker. The other way goes Moore. Takes it in. Was it a pass? Was it a shot? It was a pass.
It was a pass. It was a pass to Walker, and he was looking for him to catch and shoot.
Bursting inside, Brown. And picked up by Wong of Miami.
As Larinaga wants the pace to kind of slow down a little bit. You don't want to get into a windshield wiper game with Kansas. Not with the athletes they have.
Wardenberg 3. Brown the rebound.
And Wardenberg, he's down. He's got to get up and go.
Slashing is Harris into McCormick.
Pass here from Harris. Here's the putback in the contact.
Well, the problem here is that you see Wardenberg just coming back into the play. He felt he got fouled on that 3, and he laid down for a long time as if to emphasize the point and wasn't able to get back into the play.
Walker picked up the foul for the Hurricanes. David McCormick at the free throw line. Playing with the sore right foot, surgery on it last year. Bill Self was real honest and said he didn't play all that well against Providence, but he did enough for them to win, and they need more, but he's not 100%.
Well, he's not 100%, but he's more in terms of a physical presence inside than Miami can match.
Jalen Coleman-Lands has come in for KU. He's played at Illinois, DePaul, and Iowa State. Lightfoot was defending. Joseph back in the game after the bloody nose, and Wong will try to organize himself in that paint with a spinner. Rebound by the aggressive Jalen Wilson. He's got a couple. Coleman-Lands.
Lands may have gotten away with a travel right there.
But now Miller's got his arm hooked around Lightfoot again.
Coleman-Lands loading up on a 15-footer. Lightfoot the offensive rebound. Miami a foul. And it goes on Charlie Moore. He picks up his 6th, make it his 2nd for Miami. Jayhawks by 1 on CBS. First half here, 8 lead changes to no lead greater than 3 by either Miami or Kansas. The coach of the Hurricanes, Jim Larrañaga, moments ago with our Dana Jacobson.
Coach, we talked about it before the game. This Kansas team's ability to get inside, especially in transition. How can you slow them down in the paint?
We got to run faster. We're running at our normal pace. We can't do that today. We've got to run at our top speed because they're at their top speed when they're attacking the rim. If we do that, we'll be able to defend them much better.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
You'd think at 72, he would be the dean of his conference in terms of experience. He's 72, and he's the youngster in back of Leonard Hamilton, who's 73, Mike Krzyzewski, who's 75, and Jim Boeheim, who's 77. Jim Boeheim recruited you at one time, didn't he, Dan?
Well, and fortunately for me in his coaching career, I went someplace else.
I like that. We got to run faster, jump higher. What? Right. So simple, right?
It is simple. They also have to make more shots.
Coleman lands, right foot down low. Brown plies his way into the paint. Coleman lands, shot clock at 4. Harris will try to maneuver. Brown by Wardenberg. Slapped away and retrieved by Miami and picked up by Jordan Miller. Points in the paint, Kansas +6. Kansas +6 second chance points. Miami is at a couple threes.
It'll be interesting to see how the Canes now, with more on the bench with those 2 fouls, who can control the offense here for Miami.
It's McGusty. Sets up over Wilson.
He is so good off the bounce. He keeps the defense off balance. His ability to kind of cross you over, and then he's always on balance.
Kansas, the regular season Big 12 champions and the Big 12 tournament champions. Again. Lightfoot snaps it outside. Coleman lands 3. And it's retrieved inside by Wong. He's got 4 rebounds. And the guards have got a rebound for Miami.
Particularly when they're in that scramble defense. They tried to come with the trap that time. Kansas moved the ball very well. Got a wide open shot, just didn't make it.
McGusty. He'll load up from 15.
And I think that's where he is the best, Reggie. It's not that pull-up jumper when you're worried about where he just dribbles and then rises up. When he gets by you and pulls up, he's dynamite.
He has half of the Canes' points, 12 of the 24 coming from Cameron McGusty.
Back at the Elite Eight in Chicago with a look at our game summary. A couple threes by Miami, none so far by KU. Rebounding advantage for the Jayhawks, no surprise there. McGusty has 12 of the last 17 points for the Hurricanes.
Now remember, he does have a 4-3 record versus Kansas from his days as a Sooner for Oklahoma, where he averaged almost 14 points in those 7 games. So he's very familiar with this Jayhawks defense.
He's a returning starter for Miami, Dan. He was first team All-ACC this past season.
Kevin, you've mentioned a couple times he is a 6th-year guy. He's over 24 years old, and you can see from those numbers there, he's had a great tournament shooting the ball.
Agbaji's got 6, and he's blitzed on top. Martin is there. On him is Joseph. He'll try to crowbar his way into the lane. Defense there. Count it for 2.
He is so quick. Joseph trying to put pressure on the ball. And that's, sometimes when a team has an advantage inside, Reggie, you neutralize that advantage by putting pressure on the ball. But you got to be careful with Martin because he can go.
Well, think about it. That's only his first basket turnover there. Another one for the Canes. That's their 5th.
Yes, 5. And you mentioned it, Martin with his first basket on the goaltend there. Miami up by 1, back on defense. And here comes Martin funneling over on the right side. McCormick. We're trying to twist and turn. There's no room. Wilson comes up with it.
Foul on Miller. That's going to be his 2nd.
2 on Miller. And Moore's got 2. That's on the mind of Jim Larrañaga right now. Here is Wilson at the line. 2 consecutive double-doubles. And the other night for Kansas, 16 points and 11 rebounds in their win over 4th seed Providence. Tune in to the final rounds of the House of Highlights Creator League. Don't miss the semifinal matchup featuring Cam Wilder against, you guessed it, Cash Nasty. Followed by MK taking on Devontae Friga. And then the championship game on April 3rd. Live on the House of Highlights YouTube channel. Jayhawks from the line in this one. 3 of 9 so far. Walker on top. Oozing into that defense is Wong. Defended by the Jayhawks All-America, and Joseph comes slicing in for 2.
Kevin, this is really interesting. Miami didn't get any points off its bench the other night. They've already got 4 today.
Well, that was a quick 2 the other way, and that's what Jim Larinaga was talking about.
And obviously they weren't running fast enough, Kevin, because they didn't get back. Kansas really goes.
Miscommunication defensively, because there's no way Joseph can get a layup at one end and Brown at the other for Kansas.
Brown's got 5. 4.5 to play in the half. Wong, pick and roll. Walker went inside. Out of traffic. Out of bounds it goes.
And this is just, they talk about spreading the court, and Joseph is not one of their more important offensive players. Everybody just left him, and he made him pay for it.
Anthony Walker is in the 3, and here comes Wilson the other way, blasting out of the defense and out of the backcourt.
He is a 25% three-point shooter.
Remy Martin.
Wow. You think anyone told him that? That's a 6-point turnaround right there. You got a 25% shooter shooting a 3. And then you've got Martin, who's one of the hotter players in this tournament, knocking down one at the other end.
And the Kansas fans are alive. Wong, he'll plummet into the paint. Shoved and fouled. And that will go on Jalen Wilson of KU, his second.
This is impossible to guard. Joseph actually does a great job, Reggie. You just can't defend that. Wow. He has been so good.
Sometimes you just got to shake a man's hand. Good D, better O.
Wong, look at him go inside. Wardenberg in for 3.
That's what they need. They need Wardenberg to kind of open up that lane there, which is going to draw McCormick away from that paint for those drives.
Yeah, Wardenberg's a 47% three-point shooter. You'd rather have him shooting it out there than Walker.
11 lead changes in the first half of this Elite 8 game. Diving inside is Martin. It was a beauty right here.
Look at the defense collapse. Nobody is on Wardenberg, and it's a 2-point Miami game.
So Mike Krzyzewski going to another Final Four, passing John Wooden for the most all-time. 13th for Coach K. Jay Wright surviving and advancing. He goes to a Final Four, a 2-time national champion in 16 and 18. And what about the ACC? I know their commissioner, Jim Phillips, who was formerly the Northwestern athletic director, but now the ACC commissioner is here, and he's smiling from ear to ear.
Right, he is smiling from ear to ear, but the folks from the ACC shouldn't get too far ahead of themselves. Kansas is the #1 seed, and St. Peter's has been the best team in the NCAA tournament.
They've got Bensley Joseph in. On the bench with a couple fouls, Charlie Moore, that's why he's out. Wardenberg on top, didn't play last year because of a foot injury. Has it again, makes a move, takes it inside where it can get treacherous, and he hits the deck and is fouled on the play. And it was Coleman Lands who picks up the foul for KU, swatting at the ball. Make it Harris. Will pick up #1 with Wardenberg at the free throw line.
See what happens when you knock down a couple threes, especially if you're Wardenberg. It kind of opens up those driving lanes as well.
Wardenberg had a Liz Frank injury last year, so he sat out. But what did he do? He put together scouting reports for the coaching staff. New appreciation for coaching. A reminder coming up on AT&T at the half. Greg, Clark, Kenny, and Charles will break down our first half. They'll look ahead to the game coming up between Cinderella St. Peter's and Blue Blood North Carolina. That's coming up on AT&T at the half. And Miami has got their biggest lead over KU so far. Brown across the lane. Teeing one up. Coleman lands from 3. Rebound McGusty.
Got the mismatch with Martin on McGusty. Got to recognize that.
Switch on defense. Offensive foul.
See that? This is where you miss more on the floor here. Those 2 fouls. He's been planning on the bench.
You've got a jump stop there. You cannot leave your feet to look back and pass the ball. But again, because of the foul trouble, not only is Moore on the bench and Joseph playing in the game, but Wooga Poplar is in the game. So a small lineup because Miller has 2 fouls.
Joseph picked up his first. Harris is on top with the mismatch on Wardenberg. Agbaji, he's got 6. Coleman lands 2. And the rebound by the freshman Poplar from Philadelphia.
They need to get Agbaji more shots.
Agbaji needs to get himself more shots. This guy's a first-team All-American.
McGusty off the screen. The defense by Brown. Nudging his way to the top of the key.
See exactly what McGusty's doing for Miami. That's what Agbaji needs to be doing. Sometimes you just need to put your head down.
Remy Martin. He's got 4. Agbaji down low. Brown free to fire. With a leaping rebound inside by Poplar.
Now, doesn't Agbaji have to turn around and shoot that ball over the smaller Joseph? I understand, you know, it's a good pass and everything, but sometimes
you gotta be a little selfish. You gotta
take advantage of that mismatch.
He's earned that right?
I would say.
Jayhawks 0 of 5 on 3. Wong backpedaling. Martin collecting. He'll go the other way. Lickety split 20-footer.
Wow.
He's starting to come on now. He was slow through 15 minutes. Timeout here for Miami.
The Hurricanes lead by 2 over number 1 seed Kansas. Winning in this first half, a nice offensive performance by Miami. Agbaji moments ago had some freedom on that baseline.
And look, you've got a smaller defender on you. Sometimes you just got to gather yourself. Use your athleticism, your leaping ability, and shoot over the smaller defender.
You got to do it more quickly than he did. You saw Wardenberg come into the picture there, but if he catches the ball and turns and jumps and shoots right away, there's nothing Joseph can do.
Miami was picked to finish 12th in the ACC. They finished 4th. McGusty.
Love it.
Over Brown.
Well, talk about a guy who's decisive and understands his ability. McGusty is having himself a first half here. 14 on 5 of 9 shooting.
27 the other night against Iowa State. Under a minute to go. Agbaji. Remy Martin. Little crossover down low. Errant pass. Harris couldn't get it. Here comes Wong. Rockets by the defense. They smoked him with his speed.
Well, I said he's one of the best rim finishers in the game. And that was on full display on that turnover there by Kansas.
Martin through traffic. Off his knee. Out of bounds. Off of KU.
Miami on a 9-2 run here. Here's the tough shot by Cameron. And then the turnover. And Wong going coast to coast with the finish.
Do you think he ran faster that time?
Yes, he did. Oh, good defense there, too.
Miami has hit half their shots. Kansas at 43%. Miami and Larinaga have connected on 3 threes. KU 0 of 5 from distance. Final seconds of the first half. KJ Adams is in a freshman from Austin, Texas. McGusty sizing him up. Oh, it can get tough inside, a little bit gnarly, and that was the Kansas defense holding him right to the very end.
Unreal defense by the freshman KJ Adams Jr. Think about that. He has not played at all really over the last 2 ball games, and he's on the floor for his defense and absolutely shuts down McGusty, the hottest player in the first half for the game.
He has played 2 games all season for a total of 11 minutes, and he came in with a crucial 22nd defensive stop. Over to Dana.
Guys, thank you, Coach. A 9-2 run to close the half. How were you able to get that separation besides running a little faster?
Well, Cam McGusty got it going, and we were finding him regularly. Isaiah Wong did a great job of scoring in transition, but also getting Sam Wardenberg an open three a little earlier. Once guys get comfortable and confident as to how we're attacking them, we play a little better.
You also still struggled with them on those quick transition points, which you had talked about earlier. What's the message going to be for the second half in that regard, besides run faster again?
No, there is no other message. You can't stop them if you don't run faster. If they're faster than you, it's a sprint. It's a race. Whoever gets down the floor first wins. It's simple. We got to run faster than them.
Thanks, Coach.
He was a terrific player at Providence, 5th all-time in scoring. He's had a lifetime in coaching. Now he heads the Miami program. They went on a 9-2 run, the former 4 minutes and 30 seconds. The Jayhawks, the largest deficit of the tournament right now. We take you to the AT&T at the half after this. Chicago, as we take a look at the Great Clips first half stats, plus 9 points, Miami from 3. And they've out-rebounded Kansas by 1, and that would surprise a lot of people. Kevin Harlan, Reggie Miller, Dan Bonner. How did Miami build their lead?
Well, being aggressive at the right time, but I agree with what Kenny Smith was saying at halftime. Sometimes you got to look across from you and say, you know what? I can win this matchup. And that's what Miami was doing. Dribble penetration, here's the kick out to Wardenberg. But sometimes you just got to put the ball in the best player's hand. McGusty here just looking straight at these guys saying, we can beat you off the dribble anytime we want.
And for the Jayhawks, Reggie, they started early, really getting out in transition. And I think they have to get back to that, but at the same time, if they don't have transition, then I think they got to get the ball inside to McCormick. But here is what they did early in the first half. Look, they started 7 for 12. They finished 6 for 19. They haven't made any threes. And amazingly, Kevin, they're only 3 for 9 from the free throw line.
Let's swing it over to Dana Jacobson.
Thanks, guys. I was talking with Coach Bill Self walking in after the half. He said in terms of Cam McGusty, they've got to deny him the ball, that they're standing around letting him do whatever he wants. They need to attack him, force him to his left. They're acting like they're scared defending him, afraid to guard him. And as for throwing the ball inside, that's exactly what he wants to see, Dan, and said when we've got an open shot, we got to take it.
That's a turnover. Dana, thank you. Wilson the other way. Harris is underneath and out to Brown. Harris thinking 3. Agbaji has got 6 and finds McCormick against Wardenberg, and a slap and a foul on Miami.
And I think that foul's on Jordan Miller, and if it is, that's his 3rd foul.
And this is where Kansas has the clear advantage, which they started the ball game doing, going inside to McCormick, but they kind of went away from it. They got to get back to it.
Part of the problem they had, Reggie, is Miami stopped turning the ball over. And when Miami is scoring, it's hard to get down quickly and beat that Miami defense down the court and create an opening for McCormick.
Jordan Miller of Miami, as we were just talking about, just picked up his 3rd personal foul. Kansas from the free throw line, 3 of 10.
And Miami, they don't have a lot of depth. They don't play a lot of guys. So this is huge when one of your mainline guys like Miller picks up 3 fouls early on here in this second half.
But Miller, who has been so important for them offensively, he has not taken a shot in the game today.
He's averaging like 14 points over his last 6 or 7 ball games the month of March.
Wong, good feed, McGusty the cut. But he can't get it to drop. Brown will lasso it and take it the other way for Kansas, steering his way into the defense of Wardenberg. Mismatch, McCormick on the little, and they pickpocket him. And he dodges the defender. He'll try to throw it up. Intercepted by Wilson, picked up by Brown. The other way, Harris. Here comes McCormick.
What a start here to this second half for Kansas.
Charlie Moore trying to do a little bit too much here. He was on the bench a lot in the first half, but he's kicked it away a couple of times now.
Wong, mid-range shot. Miller got a hand on it, got it away from Agbaji. It was loose, and the 50-50 ball will go to Brown. Through the defense, rejected by Wardenberg. He's got 2 blocks.
And this is a great outlet pass. Wardenberg is at a complete disadvantage. Really well executed on the 2-on-1 break.
And when your center runs the floor like that, you've got to reward him. Nice job there by the big fella McCormick. And the finish.
Miller checks out for the Hurricanes. Poplar comes in for the Canes. And KU will inbound. McCormick and Wardenberg. Across the lane. He struggled the other night against Providence, but that was a beautiful move across right there. 12 points for McCormick.
And has all 5 here in the second half.
Two minutes gone. Probing on top McGusty. Works on Wilson, who has yet to score. McGusty at 2. Right down the hatch.
Sometimes you just got to look a man in his eyes and go to work on him. And that's exactly what Cameron's doing. Here's a steal by Moore.
And he's got McGusty, and Moore will float in, crash, foul. It's on KU.
But Moore went down hard, and he's still rolling around on the ground. This is like a tailbone or something. My goodness, what a collision. Here's the steal by Moore. And he had the 2-on-1. I thought he was actually going to give it up to Cameron. What a welcome sight to see Charlie Moore jump up right there, because they are going to need that leadership. Wow.
I mean, there was nothing there to break his fall but that tailbone, Reg, and that hurts.
What a story he's written. He was the high school player of the year in the state of Illinois. He had committed to Memphis. The coach left. He reopened the recruiting. He played for a year at Cal. Then he went to Kansas and played 2. Then his father had some health difficulties, so he transfers from Kansas to DePaul. And now he's with Miami and really thriving.
So more importantly, the question to you is, who hasn't he played for in Division I?
That's right. That's fine.
Well, now, Reggie, to be fair, there are 358 schools in Division
Okay, so
I.
he still has a ways to go.
He's got 354 more.
I love it, though. The whole transfer portal thing is just, it's re-energized college basketball with these young men being able, and women being able to go anywhere they want.
Agbaji.
Well, welcome to the tournament, Mr. Agbaji.
He's got 8.
First team All-American, and he has to be more aggressive. And I know that's easier said than done, but this is a guy that averaged 20 in Big 12 play.
Well, he just did a great job moving without the basketball.
Yes.
Sometimes that's what you have to do, but Kansas once again gets into that early offense before Miami really gets set, and that's where they've had tremendous success. And their success, interestingly enough, has been getting the ball inside in that situation.
Well, where they haven't been successful is at the free throw line.
4 of 12. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Moore. He'll cut. He'll dodge. Poplar 3. It's Harris the other way.
You want to knock off a #1 seed, it's shots like those that have to go.
Boy, McGusty's on a string. Here comes Wilson. Into Wardenberg. We are tied.
What a great start to the second half for Kansas.
Man, the atmosphere in here is absolutely electric.
Wong careening off bodies and got it to drop.
This is going to be one of them kind of games. My turn, your turn.
Agbaji. Little screen roll of McCormick, kicking it outside. Wilson 3.
Yes,
Poplar rebound.
yes, that's the right play to Wilson, but Agbaji had 2 feet in the paint, Darren.
Moore. Poplar. Boy, they're all falling all over the floor. Blowing one tire after another. Brown.
The Kansas defense is leaving Poplar alone. He's not a guy who plays very much. He doesn't score very much. He's a very low percentage shooter. So a nice job by the Jayhawks to play off of him and help inside.
But he's got to shoot that 3, though. He's wide open.
Yeah, but he's only a 23% three-point shooter. If I'm Kansas, he can have that one all day. Sometimes you're open for a reason.
Brown, ring it up. (14-5) in this half, and they've done it a variety of ways.
Boy, they sure have. You mentioned Kevin Wilson hadn't scored in the game, but that is a heck of a tough play right there. They've got McCormick involved and then Brown. This is their first three-point make of the game. So Kansas hitting on all cylinders here early in this second half.
And Miami, Reggie, beginning 2 of 6, missing both their threes, turning it over 3 times, outscored by 9.
Well, they've taken out Poplar. They've brought in Walker now. Let's see if he can be one of those stretch 4s or 5s here for Coach Larrañaga and the Canes.
Really hurts them to have a Miller on the bench in foul trouble.
Starters on the floor for KU out of the break. Wardenberg, McGusty, and Wong. Moore lost it. Another turnover by Miami. Here comes Agbaji, hot and high.
Ten turnovers.
And Moore has turned it over 3 times this half.
Moore trying to find an escape hatch and nothing there. Agbaji got the screen, switch on defense. Shot clock at 6. Wong, jab step, long shot won't go. Agbaji, down court, Wilson, corkscrews one up and off. McCormick. The Jayhawks on a 9-0 run after trailing at halftime. It's the Elite Eight on CBS. In the bubble in Indy, Kansas on a 9-0 run. They've outscored them 18-5 in the second half.
And Kevin, they've shot the ball very well. They have made a 3, but they forced turnovers. They've forced 4 turnovers. They've been able to get out and go. They've gotten McCormick involved. He's got 5 points in the second half. And everything that the Jayhawks wanted to do at the start of this game, they have done at the start of the second half.
Miami, 2 field goals, Reg, this half, and only 4 turnovers.
Talked about points in the paint, dominated by Kansas today, 34-14.
McCormick at the line. Dana, what do you have?
Guys, head coach Jim Larrañaga in that huddle, despite the Kansas run, smile on his face, said, guys, look at them, look at them. They're all excited because they think this one is over. It's a 7-point game. We've been here before, and this is our time. Our time to respond starts now.
But they do have their largest deficit of the tournament. A spinning move inside by the angular Miller. It's Brown. Hold on. It's a little high here for Harris. And they got to reset. Back into McCormick. 6 of 6. He's in a straight jacket. Hard to get out. Suffocating D. He gets it to Brown in the corner. Wilson's 3-0. McGusty with the rebound. He gets it out ahead. And they go to Joseph. In the corner, Wong 3-0. Wilson the other way.
I think too quick for Miami.
Pickpocketed Wilson. Joseph, McGusty.
And he has to be the guy, right? He was dominant in that first half. Cameron McGusty, he's going to have to put this Miami team on his back.
That ends a 10-0 run by Kansas.
And interestingly, Moore out of the game, Joseph in. Moore was a little sloppy with the ball.
Oh, they're going to trap and blitz Harris, who finds McCormick, who finally reels in the ball. Wardenberg knocked it away.
Nice recovery there by Wardenberg. He was the one that was out near half court with the trap.
Wardenberg 3. Rebound by Wilson. Under
Miami,
13 to go.
if you're Miami, you'll take that one every time.
But again, you want to create history and upset a number 1. It's those shots that have to go.
Kansas in their 32nd NCAA tournament. Harris down the lane, burrowing his way, and a foul. At the 12:32 mark of this second half, Joseph picks up his second. Get complete coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Tournament on NCAA.com. Kansas in the Elite Eight for the 26th time in program history. Miami is in the Elite Eight for the first time ever.
They continue to struggle from the free throw line, 5 of 14, but this run that Kansas has been on has been fantastic. And now here's the plus for you. You've got a guy coming in who just checked in Remy Martin, who's been arguably their best player throughout the tournament.
They just saw those free throw shooting numbers, though, and if you're a Jayhawks fan, you hope that doesn't come back to haunt you. Because I agree with Jim Larinaga. I don't think this game is anywhere close to being over.
Harris from the line, rattles it at 82% free throw shooter.
Full pressure here. Moore back on the floor here for Miami.
Barton had some nice defense the other night, coming in now for KU against Providence. Wardenberg.
There's that denial defense. Harris against McGusty.
Switching is Kansas defensively. It's McGusty. Harris is on him, and a foul. McGusty was trying to angle in there, and Harris got a little handsy and picks up the foul. It's the third on the Kansas point.
I like Harris taking the initiative as a sophomore. No, coach, put me on McGusty as he's getting ready to check out. I like a young man accepting that challenge.
Harris will leave, and they bring back in Jalen Wilson.
I think it's really important that Miami have a couple of good offensive possessions in a row here so this game doesn't get away from them.
Wardenberg across the lane. Foul, Wardenberg in Miami. And Lightfoot was right in his path.
Again, you have a situation, Kevin, where you have to jump stop and pass the ball or shoot it. Wardenberg is not going to be able to get all the way to the basket against this collapsing Kansas defense.
Now Wardenberg with 3, Miller with 3. Starting to mount up here, fouls for the Canes.
Kansas has really kept the pressure on in this half.
Lightfoot doubled. Back to Brown on top. Martin trying to release and does. Gets untethered. Wilson right down the lane and pushed by Wardenberg, and he hurt his hand. His wrist is already injured. It's wrapped heavily. And a whistle. Miami and Kansas, both teams trying to stick around in this NCAA tournament and earn a trip to the Final Four in New Orleans. In Philadelphia, it's North Carolina against 15 seed St. Peter's. Story most of you know, there's never been a seed that low that has gone this far. And they'll take on another blue blood. We have 2 double-digit seeds today. Miami 10, St. Peter's number 15, trying to get by these historically good programs.
Well, and Miami trying to get by the winningest program all time in college basketball. And it's going to be real hard with Sam Wardenberg, one of their top players, on the bench with 4 fouls.
You want to know how they're getting it done? Plus 18 points in the paint, plus 11 in second chance points, and a plus 9 in fast break points for Kansas.
Wilson hits. They've outscored Miami in the second half, 21-7. Wilson was 3rd team All Big 12 from Denton, Texas, a sophomore. And he rattles a couple home.
And now Miami, they're on the ropes, right?
Yes, they are.
How do they calm themselves?
It's McGusty. He's gone 2 of 3 this half. The rest of the team 1 of 9. McGusty in the first team All-America. It's a 3. And picked up by Wilson.
Touched every inch of that rim.
Kevin, we said before the game that Kansas can put points on the board, and the only way Miami was going to win if they responded and scored, and that's what they haven't done here in this second half. They haven't made their shots.
Wilson got a screen, wedging his way down low, now retreats. Shot clock has gone down to 8. Brown, Wilson, and a 3. Miami's got it off to the races and going the other way, Charlie Moore. Cutting is Miller. Brown is there. McGusty. Knocked away. Tried to machete his way in, knocked away. Agbaji the other way. Saved by Wilson. A 3, Agbaji.
And particularly Agbaji. I mean, they have gotten going in transition, Reggie, and he's been their leader.
Well, we were calling on it, right, in the first half, him being a little bit passive.
Agbaji's got 13, McCormick's got 15, Brown has 10.
And they've really upped the defensive pressure, have the Jayhawks.
In the corner, faking the 3, accelerating outside the lane. It's a missed shot right there from close range by Moore. Another rebound by KU and 9 for Wilson.
Nothing uncontested for Miami in the second half.
Wilson will crash into the defense. Wardenberg playing with 4 fouls, grabs the loose ball. Here comes McGusty with 17, weaving through traffic. And put back up and in by Jordan Miller after Lightfoot got a hand on it.
That kind of stops the bleeding a little bit, but here's the question for Miami. Can they put back-to-back stops together?
Agbaji playing with confidence. Out of bounds, KU's ball.
They continue to attack the paint on these drives, Dan.
And attacking the basket like that collapses the defense. It makes it hard for you to block anybody out. And so Kansas, they get a double advantage. They can either score inside or they're getting offensive rebounds.
Nine to play, Brown. Martin lets it rip. Second chance point, 17-0 KU.
And their 3 ball starting to fall now.
Well, Miami is having to play against the set half-court defense every time.
It's Moore knifing his way in. With a shove and a foul on the Jayhawks, 8.5 to go. Martin.
Double penetration. Martin up to 9 points now, 4 of 8 shooting for the Jayhawks.
That's a very low release, and he takes his time.
Wong. Tough shot, hit the deck, got the 2 to go.
Yeah, but you got to string a couple of stops together, like Reggie just said.
There's Agbaji, and he gets it off to Wilson and over to Brown. Got the screen, switch on defense. It's Martin. Brown, 3 to fire. And fouled by Wardenberg on a 3-point shot. He's got 5. Wardenberg has just picked up number 5. The New Zealander, 6th-year redshirt senior. As the Kansas faithful will wave the wheat, and the Miami center has fouled out.
Well, he just couldn't stop himself. You know, you want to contest the shot.
Yeah.
You know you're trying to come back in the game, but that's one. You've got 4 fouls. You have to understand how important you are to your team. You just got to let that one go.
His momentum just kept carrying him right into to Brown. Now look how small Jim Larinaga in Miami is right now on the floor without Wardenberg.
The tallest player for Miami, to Reggie's point, is 6'7" Jordan Miller.
So watch Lightfoot being real active and aggressive on the offensive glass here.
Well, it might actually help Miami a little bit, because down like this with only 8 minutes to go in the game, they're going to have to use that scramble defense almost exclusively, so they're going to need smaller, faster guys.
Christian Braun at the free throw line. He was the Kansas High School Player of the Year, a 3-time state champion. His mom and dad played Division I basketball. And the junior will get another try. He was the 6th leading scorer in college basketball's best conference, the Big 12.
Well, if you're the Hurricanes and you're going to get back into this basketball game, it has to start now. You've got to score in a couple consecutive possessions, and you've got to get some stops.
Wong will crash and spin, and he'll get fouled as he took it low. Jayhawk fans are celebrating. They're 7:57 away from a Final Four date in New Orleans. 16 points in the paint, 17-0 in second chance points on 5 more offensive rebounds than Miami.
Kind of telling the story of how dominant, especially in this second half, the Jayhawks have been.
And they've hit 3 threes. Wong tries to pry. Ball taken away. Harris lost his balance. Foul called on Martin as Moore was going to plunge the other way.
And the Kansas defense is swarming to Wong and McGusty when they have the ball, because really Miami's been able to get very little production from anybody else out there.
Miami's center, Wardenberg, is fouled out. And Dan, as you know, he was the top 3-point percentage shooter for the Hurricanes.
As well as rim protector, too.
Moore thought to fire, drives on Martin, rejected by Lightfoot. He's got 2 blocks. Martin racing the other way, snaking his way into the paint. And out to Wilson.
Kansas defense has been really impressive in this second half.
Brown, and off the fingertips of Wong, and 13 on the shot clock with 7:17 to go in the second half.
Well, this is kind of what you want to see from your backline defense. Lightfoot with the rotation over.
He had 4 blocks against Providence on Friday.
And remember, he's coming off an injury coming into the tournament,
right,
a little knee injury.
He's got a brace on it right now.
Well, he's not 100%, but giving 100% of effort out here.
Look at that slicing move by Harris. What a play.
Wow.
Man, it's McGusty.
And again, they're just swarming McGusty.
Suffocating Kansas defense. It's Wong dueling with Harris. Almost pickpocketed, shot clock down to 7. More 3.
I am so impressed with Harris Jr.'s defense. He did it on McGusty. He just did it right there on Moore.
Remy Martin into Wong. Out to Wilson. Down low, Lightfoot. And he got fouled as he caught it.
And I like this pairing of having both Martin and Harris. Harris with the beautiful reverse move. Look at this. That is just gorgeous.
Play. It is. Wait, did we just have the same word there? We did. We thought.
Oh, just stop.
Are we twins?
Well,
We have been working a long time together, my friend.
Lightfoot at the line for Kansas. Kansas came into the tournament ranked number 3 in the country in the AP Top 25. But they were a top 4 seed for the 22nd consecutive year, the most in the history of the NCAA. I mean, that just mind-numbing numbers, and as we've told you a couple times, winning against Providence put them as the #1 winningest program in all of college basketball. One better than Kentucky. Lightfoot at the stripe.
Miami's been stuck at 46. They've only scored 11 points in the second half through the first 14 minutes.
Wong with a three. Wilson with the rebound.
And this is not the Miami offense. The ball's not moving. Players aren't moving. They're just settling for these long three-point shots, and that's not the formula to get back in the game.
Wilson, right foot, they blitz him. Doesn't matter.
Well, size matters, and they are just absolutely destroying them in the paint. A plus 20 advantage for Kansas.
Miller tries the chisel is right down low.
Yep. Offensive foul on Miller. Was that a hook?
Pushing.
Yeah, it was a hook.
Here are the most wins all time, and we may have...
That's 4 now on Miller.
4 on Miller. We may have 3 of those teams, Kansas, North Carolina, and Duke. We got Duke. We may have Kansas, and North Carolina will find out in a couple hours in the Final Four.
And North Carolina really is going to find out because they're going to play a St. Peter's team that's not on that list, but has certainly been on the list in the NCAA tournament.
Well, confidence-wise, they're on that list right now, the way they played in this tournament.
Harris. It's Lightfoot. Back to Harris. Underneath. Looking for Agbaji, and the ball is sailing out of bounds. It was an offensive foul, and it goes on Harris, who picks up his 4th for KU.
Well, you'd rather not have a foul like that, but I think that's just an example of the kind of aggressiveness that Kansas has played with here in the second half.
Harris is a little banged up, too. I think a couple of those falls on those drives, his hip, he's kind of a little gimpy heading over to the huddle.
Kansas has come out barging ahead in the second half on the way to the Final Four. Well, Miami just used their final timeout. Kansas has 3. You see our game reset here with a lead of 65-46 for Kansas, who trailed at halftime. Jayhawks have led by as many as 19. Miami had a lead of 6. We began the game with 11 lead changes and 8 ties, and it was fast and furious.
And it was, Kevin, and the thing that has changed most dramatically in the second half is Kansas has really turned up the defensive intensity, and Miami has only scored 11 points in the second half. You're not going to beat Kansas if you score 11 points in 15 minutes.
Didn't we kind of see this from Kansas on Friday when Providence came all the way back, took the lead by 1, then they went on that 7-0 run and didn't look back at all?
McGusty quiet in the second half. Kansas has been putting the clamps on him. Step back triple. Retrieved by Agbaji. And retaken with a nice interception by Anthony Walker. More 3.
I agree with you, Dan. There's not a 19-point three-point shot here, and that's what Miami is trying to do right now, just jack up a lot of threes.
Wow, if you could make 3s, that
What a pass by Lightfoot to Agbaji.
Wong the other way. Foul. Lightfoot.
This is just a great backdoor cut. And what a pass by Lightfoot. McGusty trying to overplay because they're looking for steals, and Agbaji makes them pay for it. Wow.
Kansas 16 assists on 26 made baskets. Wong is at the line. Foul went on Lightfoot. First on him.
They've done a very good job corralling Wong and McGusty here in the second half, but they've also done a nice job controlling everybody else. They've eliminated the transition game for Miami, where Miami has been very effective in this tournament. This has been a dominating performance by an excellent team.
A dominating second half.
Yes.
Lightfoot looking for Agbaji to get free. He's got 15. Wilson cuts and drives. In his way was Wooga Poplar. Picked up the personal foul for Miami. Interesting that such a big factor for Kansas in the first half was McCormick, but he's only played 4.5 minutes here in the second half. This lineup has gotten them on top. They're smaller, but they're moving well.
But Kevin, how important were those 4.5 minutes to start this second half?
He scored 8 points.
Yes.
It was so fast.
He set the tone.
He's got 15, but he's spent most of the second half on the bench. 4 rebounds for McCormick. Now listen, he has the bad knee. He's got a sore foot. He is clearly not 100%, but today, far better than his performance against Providence Friday.
He was much better, no question. This has been the best tournament game for Agbaji with those 15 points.
Under 4 to go, McGusty, 3. And Brown is there to get it. And the wind has been taken out of this game.
Yeah, it sure has. And Miami's not a team that's going to get a lot of offensive rebounds.
Rusty, 14 and a half. Only 4 here in the second.
Martin, right foot! Parachuting in! Here's the drive, Walker. Woof. He takes it. The second half has belonged to the Jayhawks. 3 minutes and 23 seconds away from the Final Four. The Kansas Jayhawks in the second half have outscored Miami 41-14, shooting 61%. Now the noticeably smooth play of the game presented by Dollar Shave Club.
Absolute domination, second half domination by Kansas, a plus 22 paint points, Dan.
Well, you've got 4 different players with dunks, and you can shoot 60% when you're shooting that many dunks, Reg. You know, Kansas their offense has really kicked into gear, but I think it started on the defensive end. They really bottled up Miami. We talked before the game, Reggie, about how Miami was going to have to make some threes. They're 0 for 11 shooting threes in the second half.
This is Anthony Walker at the free throw line for the Canes. Dana, what do you have?
Well, guys, look at Kansas's three-point shots. Remember, they had 4 at the end of practice yesterday. It was a great display that we saw. They were actually from half court that they made those shots, and that's part of the fun that they say they've been having. We talked about Miami having fun so far. First round of the tournament, this Kansas team said, we just want to get to next week. And then they said it this week. We want to have fun and get to next weekend. And they are 3 minutes and 16 seconds away from doing that.
Right foot awaits at the other end, and that is a violation. 10 seconds on KU. Kansas, of course, the inventor of the game, Dr. James Naismith, coached at Kansas, and he wrote the rules of basketball, and on everybody's jersey, you see those dots there. Those are words. Those are the rules of basketball. And the Kansas alum who bought the rules for millions of dollars has it now housed in a building that's connected to historic Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence. That shows you how far back this Kansas program goes. It's a 3-point shot from outside. Walker took it. And the other way comes Remy Martin.
It's interesting to see those words in your house, by the way. I think you're that alumni that bought those Naismith words.
Martin.
Oh,
What goes down
right
awkwardly.
there.
Yes, he does.
That's the last guy you want to be seeing falling like that.
Reggie, we want to make it clear that those are the original rules of basketball. We wouldn't be able to see the numbers if the current rules of basketball
No,
were
it would
there.
be a book as thick as a phone book, if anyone can remember what one of those looked like. It was Miller picking up his 5th personal foul for the Canes.
Think about that. 5 fouls and out for Miller. 5 fouls and out for Wardenberg.
Now, Miller has been such a key factor in this tournament run. He's only got 2 points today.
They bring in Deng Gak, who's a 6'11" player from Sydney, Australia.
And McGusty's leaving the game.
Yes, he is.
As well as more. And well-timed hugs by Coach Larinaga. I mean, these two young men really helped carry the Canes and put them back on the mat with Coach Larinaga. I love the smiles right there. To me, that's what it's about, the brotherhood. And while we're talking about the brotherhood, I just got to say, I hope Justin Moore from Villanova get well soon, because it was so cool to see the video that went viral right after the celebration by Villanova. All the teammates going over to Moore and hugging him. The tears had me teared up. That's what team sports is all about. Your pain is my pain.
A drive by Wong, altered by Lightfoot, loose inside. The galloping Wilson the other way for KU.
Just nothing doing for Miami in this second half.
Well, in this second half, Kansas showed why they are a #1 seed.
Reggie Bill Self told us yesterday that he does not think his team has played well offensively in this tournament. Well, this second half is going to change his mind. This is a very impressive offensive performance.
You take out that Texas Southern first-round win where they were dominant, but they were supposed to beat a number 16 seed like that.
There's a look at Bill Self. His dad passed away in January. His dad was a coach, and his dad used to tell Bill, son, don't worry about the mules, just load the wagon. And they loaded the wagon in the second half with the target on their back. And his dad would certainly be proud to watch his son. Bill Self Sr. passing at the age of 82. Bill Self Jr. doing him proud. That's the Self family right there. He's got 2 grandchildren. He and I were talking the other day. He says, I don't feel like a grandpa. I said, yeah, but you look like one. And he started laughing.
You gray hairs up there, right?
Gak had a hand on it on the missed shot there by Joseph. Picked up by Poplar. He'll go flying inside and works into the defense of Zach Clemens, who has come in. And there's the trophy for the champion of the Midwest Regional. It'll go to KU. At the free throw line is Poplar. The foul goes on the freshman Clemens of the Jayhawks.
So as we speak, Dan, we've got Kansas, Duke, and Villanova all punching their tickets to New Orleans, with St. Peter's and North Carolina on the clock right after this. I mean, that is spectacular. That is spectacular.
Also in the game for Kansas, Chris Tehan. His brother Connor played in a Final Four for KU out of Rockhurst High School in Kansas City. Leawood, Kansas is where he's from. Driving is Adams. It's a 3 by the aforementioned Chris Tehan. And here come the Canes the other way. Some of these kids don't get a chance to play that much. But to play in a regional final on national TV is a big thing. KJ Adams is back in. Gak looking down low and trying to hit newly instated big man Rodney Miller. Also in, Gogus. Filipos Gogus, who's from Athens, Greece. Gak. And out to Joseph. Offensive foul.
And really, Kevin, the subs are in the game, but that's the way the second half has gone for Miami. Every time one of the Miami players puts the ball down and tries to go to the basket, he was attacked, he was surrounded. Just a very frustrating offensive performance for Jim Larinaga, but their offense negated by great Kansas defense.
Thing about Miami, they had never been this far in the history of the program. They have never gone to an Elite Eight, but this year they did, using the transfer portal. Coleman lands. He's played at Illinois, DePaul, and Iowa State. A long 3. He sticks it.
Look at the hugs over there for Bill Self and his coaching staff. This is a great feeling for them as well. It never gets old.
The Kansas Jayhawks are going to the Final Four for the 16th time in their 50th NCAA tournament. It'll be Kansas and Villanova in a national semifinal next Saturday in New Orleans as the Jayhawks go to their 16th Final Four. Guys, the second half was the key. 47-15. Kansas outscored 10th seed Miami. Let's take it over to Dana.
Kevin, thank you. Coach, you just said to me, we played a little better in the second half, outscored them 44-15. What can you say about that performance?
Well, we were locked in defensively in the second half. We never was the first half, and the lid came off the basket. I think the first three that CB made kind of did that. But that's about as well as we played in this tournament so far.
Which is what you have said, is that you had to keep playing better to keep advancing. You go back to the Final Four with this team. Kevin may have said it best. You guys loaded the wagons.
Yeah, you know, it's a special year for me and my family, obviously, with my dad passing. And that was his motto, don't worry about the mules, just load the wagon. And the guys didn't really worry about the distractions of what was going on in the first half. They just played second half.
Congratulations, Coach. Go enjoy it.
Thank you, thank you.
The winningest program in college basketball history is going to the Final Four. And they will take on Villanova. Bill Self told us yesterday the Elite Eight is the hardest game to play and hardest game to win.
Well, they certainly had a hard time in the first half, Kevin, but that second half was an unbelievably impressive performance.
So for Dan Bonner, Reggie Miller, Dana Jacobson, and Gene Steratore, this is Kevin Harlan saying good afternoon from Chicago. The Jayhawks are the Midwest Regional Champions. Coming up next on CBS, St. Peter's against North Carolina. We'll take you to our studio for the Capital One Tournament Central right after these messages on CBS.